Hola, veggie lovers. I'm JP with Vegans Abroad, and Amelia is currently in the kitchen. She is preparing to make us a veganized version of a traditional Ecuadorian dish called Locro. It's like a potato, and the traditional dish has cheese in it. We didn't know that when we first came to Ecuador. We ordered some at a restaurant because the waiter assured us it was vegan, and then we found out later that the little diced cubes in it were cheese. Since they didn't have any flavor and they looked just like tofu, we just assumed it was tofu, but it wasn't. It was cheese. Yuck. So anyway, we just make ours with tofu, and it tastes the same to us. So while she's doing that, though, we need to do a little bit of yard work, so I'm going to do some trimming in our courtyard. So I'll give you a tour of our courtyard too and explain our gas situation here. They don't have natural gas here. They use propane, so I'll show you how all that works. All right, let's get started.
Today I'm going to make my vegan version of the Ecuadorian soup Locro de Papa. It's a traditional soup that's typically made with cheese, dairy milk, and of course potatoes or papas. But I make mine with tofu, with non-dairy milk. My original recipe I used soy, but today I'm going to use almond milk. And we use nutritional yeast to get that cheesy flavor. It's actually really easy and quite tasty. The first thing I need to do is peel the potatoes, so let's get started. I'm heating 2 tablespoons of veggie broth in my pot. And to that I'm going to add the onion that I chopped up and the minced garlic, about a tablespoon of minced garlic. And I use 2 little bitty onions. I also have 1 teaspoon of achiote powder and 1/2 tablespoon of cumin, and this is going into our pot as well. And I'm going to saute these until the onions are translucent, so that should just take a couple minutes.
That smells good.
I know how much you love your cumin. So the achiote powder is important too because it gives the soup the proper color. While my onions are sauteing, I'm going to quarter my potatoes. You don't need to cut the potatoes into really small or bite-sized pieces. We are going to cook them until they're very soft and then mash them with a potato masher, but we still want a little bit of chunks in there. I'm going to add my potatoes to the pot and continue to cook them in the spices for about another 5 minutes. So we're going to kind of toast everything a little bit. If you run out of liquid, if they start sticking to the bottom of the pan, you can just add maybe a tablespoon of water or veggie broth. So you want to toss these to coat the potatoes with the spices and just let them cook. I'm going to add 6 cups of our homemade veggie broth. Of course, you could use store-bought. Just make sure it's oil-free. And we just need to let that simmer for about 45 to 60 minutes. As I mentioned earlier, we want to cook this until the potatoes are nice and soft.
While our Locro de Papa soup is cooking, I'm going to do some yard work. I'll give you a tour of our courtyard too. With my little handy shears, I'll trim up all these overgrown bushes. This is our courtyard. I love this courtyard, especially these Dr. Seuss plants. I think these must be a member of the allium family, but I'm not exactly sure what they are. And these ferns are really nice too. And then we have this, what I call a Muppet Plant. It looks like one of those Muppet characters. Obviously it needs to be trimmed up. Daisy loves it out here too. She stays out here almost all the time. I need to trim all the dead buds off of that. And we have a Calla Lily that blooms regularly, and it's beautiful. It's not, we only have 1 bloom right now, but it is very pretty. And then we have a palm tree, and I need to trim this bush that's under it. Oh, and this is our table and umbrella that we bought here. We got the umbrella, I think, for 120 bucks at a store that's near here. And I think the table and chairs were not very much. They were like 80, I think. And we love this vine. Though this vine has completely grown over this. This is a door, like a garage door, that you can park a car in here, and it's completely covered that since we moved in. Then we have another one of these with a lot of dead stuff, and there's another Calla Lily. I need to trim off those dead things. And this is our hot water heater. Now this is something, if you're in the States, you might not know what this is. This is called a Caliphone here, and it's an on-demand hot water heater. And those are the tanks. Everything runs on propane here, not natural gas. So if you need to refill your tank, there's always somebody driving through the neighborhood and they play a song. It's about Cuenca. I need to look up the lyrics for it and see what it says, but it's basically says that's why I love Cuenca. And they just drive through the neighborhood. It's kind of like an ice cream truck. You hear the music and you run out and wave the guy down, and they carry a tank in and they carry away the empty one. So that's how you get your propane here, and the propane runs the hot water and the stove and the oven. All right, now it's time to get to work.
I see you watching me when we're with our friends. It's definitely something in the air. So let's take it from there, 'cause I know you want it. Afraid to let it show. And I know you need it. Why don't we let it grow?
Now I have to trim up this pretty purple flowering plant that Daisy smashed. There was a baby bird, a bird's nest over here in our bushes, and she completely destroyed this beautiful bush plant, whatever it's called, getting at the baby bird, and she killed the baby bird and left it on our doorstep for us. As vegans, we did not appreciate that.
We stop tipping on our toes. What's holding you back now, sugar? 'Cause I don't know.
Oh, gross, gross. Ah. Oh, gross. All right, this is really gross. There are dead baby birds and they stink horribly. Oh, gross. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Ugh. I can see two of them and they smell awful, and I don't have any gloves. Daisy, you are in the dog house. I am very mad at you right now. Very mad. This is gross. Ugh. In lieu of gloves, I'm going to use a plastic bag and pick up these dead baby birds like they're dog poop, which really bothers me. This is gross and I don't like this. Yeah, returning to the scene of the crime. Gross, Daisy. Oh God, they smell awful. This is what you did. Destroyed this bush too.
Free to let it show. And I know you need it. Why don't we let it grow? Why don't we let it pop? Why don't we let it grow, 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 grow?
I am not at all happy with little Miss Daisy. Those birds were gross. I'm done inside. Now I'm going to go outside and trim. These vines are growing over the wall. And I got mad at my neighbors. On New Year's Eve, they lit a monegote on leaning up against our telephone pole outside our house underneath this vine. And I got mad at them, yelled at them. I feel a little bad about that, but still, everybody else burns them in the middle of the street. And for some reason, our neighbors decided to light their monegote on fire underneath our overgrown vine. Guess it's my own fault for not trimming it sooner, but anyway, hopefully they're not too upset with me for yelling at them to not burn things in front of my house, but they told me it was tradition. I'm not sure if they meant tradition to burn things in front of your neighbor's house, or they were just referring to the burning of the monegotes or the años viejos. If you are curious about what that is, watch our New Year's Eve video or the New Year's Eve prep video. We go into lots of detail about monegotes.
Every day, we just can't keep it away.
All right, so you're gonna see where they burned it. See this vine right here? This is dead because they burned their monegote right here in front of my house. Oh well, we survived. Okay, gotta let it go. Find my inner peace. move around to the other side now. As you can see, this is very much overgrown. Man, this was really overgrown. Oh, and you might be wondering, if you haven't watched any of our other videos, what this tray is here. This is where you put your trash. They, since they have a lot of street dogs here, they keep their trash up off the ground, and you put your trash up on those racks. And they, in our neighborhood, they pick up every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And Thursday is recycle day, so you put out your blue bag with all your recycle in it on Thursday. All right, I gotta finish this. Amelia says it's time to eat. Alright, I'm going to take a break and go eat, and then I'm going to pick up all this debris and I'll show you the finished product after that's done.
My potatoes are nice and soft, so I'm going to mash them with my potato masher. Or you could use a fork if you don't have one of these handy gadgets. And as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be smooth. We want some little chunks of potato goodness in here. That looks really good. Now that our potatoes are mashed, it is time to add some more ingredients. So I have 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk. You can use your favorite unsweetened milk, although I wouldn't use coconut milk since that has a pretty strong flavor. 1/4 cup nutritional yeast. It's going to give us that cheesy flavor. For my additional spices, I have 1 teaspoon salt, which you can certainly reduce or leave out if you're watching your salt intake, and then 1 tablespoon of dried cilantro. And we're going to let this simmer for a little bit longer. Just a few minutes. And while this is simmering, I need to drain my tofu, pat that dry, and then cut that into cubes. It's time to chop up our tofu into cubes. The traditional soup is made with some sort of cheese they use here, which is cubed.
And white.
And white. And this will go into the pot at the very end because it really just needs to be heated through. And it'll absorb some of the delicious flavors. We are just going to let this simmer for a few more minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes, until the tofu has absorbed the flavors and it is nice and warm. Looks good, huh? Mm-hmm. It smells really good. And now it is time to eat. Oh, it looks really yummy, doesn't it? Hearty and delicious. Time for the taste test. Hopefully it's not too hot. I don't want to burn myself. Ooh, it's really good. Yummy. You can find the recipe on our website, lottofveg.com. Let us know if you decide to make this dish. I'd love to hear your feedback.
Lunch was delicious. I really love Amelia's vegan Locro de Papa soup. It's so tasty. I already picked up everything, all of the leaves and debris from my yard work, and man, I'm tired now. It was a lot of work. While I was outside sweeping up all of the leaves on the street and the sidewalk, a guy went by selling brooms. A lot of people go door to door selling things here, but I found it very strange that he offered to sell me a broom while I was using a broom, and it was pretty much the exact same broom, only in a different color. I thought that was really strange. I guess it doesn't hurt to ask, does it? The worst you can say is no. All right, let's do the tour of the finished, cleaned up courtyard. That looks a lot better, and I'm glad it's done. Amelia is in the kitchen cleaning up from our lunch. Man, I'm tired now. I'm going to go take a break. So please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that little notification bell so you get updated when we post new videos. We post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and we hang out for about an hour to answer any of your questions or comments. So come join us, and we will see you next time.